Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. We are going into our main topic, which is audio considerations.
Yes, we want to talk about how sound affects the role-playing game. And this is more than just thematic,
Yes.
where you have haunted house sounds, or you're using Sirenscape or some other product to do a full suite of sounds, from machine gun fire to sword hitting flesh to making a full audio experience.
Yeah, and I want to say that there's a difference between having a certain level of ambiance to just having background noise.
Right.
Yeah, one can increase immersion, which is generally what we want. The other one can be very, very distracting.
Right.
Yeah.
I found that the songs that were for Spelljammer was didn't work too well as background music to the game,
Okay.
because it was competing with the person talking.
Yes. I've also found that if you're doing background music and there are vocals to it that aren't just, people vocalizing,
Yeah.
but yeah, it tends to, people's
If
brains
you hear
are
words, you listen to the words.
right. If your brain recognizes it as a language, your brain is going to cue in on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Some games, though, it's kind of important to put the sound effects in there. For example, there's a Call of Cthulhu game that's all about the trumpet. And this is a special trumpet because it's a 4-valve trumpet.
Okay.
And actually playing some of the songs, you're in a speakeasy. There's jazz music going on.
Yeah.
And there are particular songs that are playing in the background. And one of them is especially for this game, and having the trumpet playing in the background really adds to it.
Right.
But you want to keep it quiet. It's got to be loud enough to be heard, quiet enough not to disturb.
Right. Although if you're bringing up horns, trumpets with Call of Cthulhu, my immediate thought is my favorite elder god, Nyzanthar, the blind idiot goat god, I think.
Right.
He sleeps because he's surrounded by I believe other creatures that are constantly playing I believe trumpets.
Well, they're different instruments, but yes,
Yeah.
they are. They're keeping them asleep through music. So if you have an encounter where you actually see this thing, some music in the background might be appropriate.
Yeah.
If you're doing a Renaissance type environment, especially at a tournament, some wordless Ren music in the back might be nice.
Right.
But again, it's got to be loud enough to be heard, soft enough not to disturb.
Yeah. I just like the idea of Azathoth, the blind idiot god, sleeping to ska.
Yeah. Or psychedelic punk.
Yeah. Yeah. you know how some people, they have some weird music that they sleep to? Yeah, he's that.
Yeah.
Or it's that. But and this is something that I've come across as someone who has engaged a lot with people who have done drama, where as an extra, sometimes you're directed that you need to make some type of noise that it sounds like you're having a conversation, but not say anything. And I was told that a lot of times they tell you to just repeat the word rabble. So, rabble, 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 rabble.
Peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Rabble, peanut butter and jelly.
Rabble, rabble.
Yeah. That was one of the techniques. I got in trouble as an extra once because the director told me to do this funny bit. And it was hilarious. but it upstaged, even though I was behind her.
Yeah.
It upstaged the star.
Yeah.
And the money man, what is that called? The guy who pays for everything.
Oh, executive producer?
Yeah, the producer
Mm-hmm.
came in and says, I don't care what the director says.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
Okay. Oh, look, I'm just following orders. Just
Now
following orders.
let's get back on track a little bit.
Yeah.
One way of doing audio is that there are audio-only role-playing games.
Yes, there are. I do know that in our training we went over, in our official training for professional game masters, we've gone over a few of them, but we've recently found out that a lot of them have kind of gone the way of the dodo.
Yeah, like Blindscape.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunate. It was a very good audio-only adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You did have to touch the screen,
but it was completely blank, so you didn't know what you were touching.
It was a blank screen because your character was blind.
Yes.
If you do ever get to play that game, trigger warning.
Oh yeah.
Your eyes will be burned out of your skull, and you will scream.
Yeah. It is a game that I wanted to play more, but that one gets even without visuals, I'm giving that a hard R.
Yeah, it's very
very gruesome, very morbid, very visceral.
So audio-only ventures are like The Veil, Shadow of the Crown, and Hero's Call.
I believe there's also Alexa Dungeon Escape or Dungeon Adventure.
And I hope it still exists. They had a variety of Alexa games that were audio only.
Yeah, I know that they had a Skyrim version.
Yes. And those were good. So Hero's Call is a fantasy audio from Out of Sight Games. The Veil, Shadow of the Crown is dedicated audio-based RPG. You play as a blind adventurer using audio cues for combat navigation, which I think that is a good replacement for Blindscape. Blind Legend, an audio-only action-adventure game featuring sword combat. Dark Echo, an abstract horror game that uses sound to visualize the environment. Then there's ones that are optimized for sound. Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Open World Assassin's Creed, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. And there are other audio first games where the sound is as important or more important than everything else.
I'm actually reminded of a game, if I'm remembering this properly, there was an old game called Thief?
Yes.
Where, it's a very stealth-based game, but sometimes you'd be in the dark hiding, and you'd have to physically listen, to your surroundings to see if for example, the patrols had passed.
Yeah, and you needed good earphones.
Yes.
That will distinguish left and right.
Yeah.
Surround sound on your head. So, is it coming from behind me? Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of first-person games rely a lot on the audio feature, so you know when somebody's sneaking up behind you.
Yeah.
Or do understand. But what about those of us who are hard of hearing?
Huh?
Yeah. What? Do you know how many times I hear that joke? Oh.
Well, same here.
Yeah. And so ones that are adaptive tools that you can use. Direct audio broadcasting. Use a boom microphone connected to a central transmitter.
Yeah.
Which could be your phone.
Yes.
Or a speaker. And I put that up front. I talk. My voice comes from someplace that's a little closer to everybody else.
Yeah.
Real-time transcription. They're not 100% error-proof, but they will. People can read what you're saying instead of hearing what you're saying, or do like I do. I use transcription or closed captioning
Hmm.
to supplement my hearing.
Yeah. And similar situation that I have to deal with, where when I'm watching anime, I don't watch dubbed anime. I normally always watch subbed anime.
Mm-hmm.
And even when it's gotten to the point where even when I'm watching like normal movies, because for example my wife has a problem distinguishing accents,
Right.
everything's subtitled.
Yeah, we do that here at home. Everything's subtitled. But the only problem I have with subbed over dubbed
Hmm.
movies and stuff is that it took a long time,
Hmm.
but for a lot of people, I don't see the movie. I'm just reading the transcript.
Yeah, I've seen that with certain subtitles where like this is great, but I was too busy reading to see what was going on.
And another error point for me is they somebody says something in a quote unquote foreign language,
Hmm.
and the translation is there,
Hmm.
but my subtitles are covering it up,
Yeah.
and the subtitle just says foreign language or
Hmm.
alien language. And it's like, look, this isn't live. You could have at least told me what language
Hmm.
if you're not capable of actually translating it.
Or you get into a situation, for example, like The Thing, where if you've got the subtitles on, the movie's ruined for you in the first opening scene.
Right.
Yeah.
And they explain too much.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that it'll tell you what mood the music is going for,
Hmm.
or they will actually tell you the song and date, but like whatever. It'll give you the who,
Yeah.
when, and stuff. That's just a little extra.
And that's good subtitling. That's good subtitling.
I have seen good subtitling where things that I completely audio missed,
Hmm.
like
Will be there.
it'll be there, and I'm like going, oh, I didn't hear that
Hmm.
at all.
Now, mind you, and this is an absolute tangent, but one of the best subtitling efforts I've ever seen
Mm-hmm.
is if I believe if you go to one of the clips, one of the videos about the Swedish Chef,
Oh my gosh.
they have subtitles. You can choose between English and whatever, and there's one specifically for Swedish Chef,
Yeah.
and there is commentary happening. There's commentary happening in the subtitles. It is amusing as hell.
Yeah. And there are descriptive for visual problems.
Yeah.
But so we've got direct audio broadcasting, real time transcription, assisted listening devices. This
Yeah.
is hearing aids, FM infrared systems,
Hmm.
or even induction loops where I don't need any induction. They have a T coil embedded hearing aids
Hmm.
that receive the sound directly.
Hmm.
So I could, I've seen people, they play music on here. You can't hear it, it's going directly into their hearing aid.
Hmm.
Um, so here's some other considerations besides
Yeah.
the sound. Especially when you are playing in public or at a convention, seating priority.
Yeah.
Deaf person sits closer to the GM.
Yeah.
Or directly across if they are using sign language.
Yeah. Also, so they can read lips.
Yes. I read lips.
Hmm.
I'm not super proficient out of it. I'm not going to be usable as a spy.
Yeah.
But it sure helps me understand what people are saying. There are times when I can translate somebody with no audio, but I use it as adjunct to what little I can hear.
Yeah.
So I can tell the difference between vacuum and other words.
Yes.
So we want quiet zones when other possible, we put a table in a low distraction area. We can put up buffers, but got to remember that if you're in a high ceiling area,
it bounces up and then back down.
Yeah, it just goes right over the top. Bright lights so that we can see each other clearly, so I can read your lips clearly. You know, other visual cues are nearly impossible if you're doing mood lighting.
Yeah.
Table etiquette, no crosstalk.
Yeah.
The less other people are talking at the table. If you're only talking when your character's talking, or if you're asking a legitimate question, that's one thing. But if you're talking about anything off topic, or you're talking louder than the person who's supposed to be talking, that's just a distraction. It contributes to more noise. I tell people at one of my game stores that has 8 tables running at the same time to try to keep your crosstalk down, because it just adds to the ambient.
Yeah.
I also take my phone and I have a decimal reader. One is to keep me from complaining when it's just at conversational levels.
Yeah.
And the other is to, okay, it's high enough to justify my saying, I need you all to quiet down.
What is that level?
What is that level?
Yeah.
It's when it hits noise.
When it hits noise? Okay.
Yeah. When it, especially halfway through noise, you know, you're halfway between conversational and dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's when I really speak up. They rarely get to dangerous, but it's still, when you're in the noise range, that's when I start having trouble hearing.
Yeah.
Or more importantly, understanding.
Yeah. I do want to point out, though, that because we talked about earlier in our Just Chatting, someone's small group dynamics, and when you're getting into performing, another concept that we tend to talk about is flow state by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi.
Correct.
And we found that when people are in flow state, in the zone, they're more than likely able to filter out background noise easier.
Yeah.
So sometimes, in terms of audio consideration, having an engaging enough game is that.
It does help.
Yeah.
So I'm signaling that I want to talk.
Yes.
They raise their hand speaking so others can focus their attention on the speaker. Attention getters, small LED lights or a simple hand wave to single transition to get the attention of a player who may have missed an audio clue.
Yeah. Another thing that we've practiced here, especially with the younger crowds, are talking sticks, which could literally be anything. Like, I've got the bottle now, I'm the one talking.
I got a stick.
Yeah.
I'm a gnome. I'm a monster. And then there are other physical aids.
Yeah.
Such as miniatures, maps, battle maps, power cards, written notes for rules. Being able to point to a target or hand over a card with the spell details reduces the need for repeated verbal explanations.
Yeah. So this is getting into how when we communicate, it isn't just me speaking. It is also a lot of times body language.
Right.
So I could be saying just about anything, but if I look mad, well, you're going to read that. If I can point to something, you know, I'm pointing to that. So being able to read the body language of other people helps.
That's one of those RPG specific sign language considerations. Expressive narratives, where you exaggerate your body language and physical gestures reminiscent of LARPing, making the story more immersive and easier to follow than spoken words alone.
Yeah.
Don't say he's angry. He's angry.
Yeah. And I would feel that I do a fairly good job of being quite expressive when I talk.
I try to. I mean, I used to be an actor, and it used to come very much more natural to me. Because exaggerated things, common shorthands, used in some language to sample signs for recurring game terms like initiative, critical hit, or specific monster types like orc. One group I saw, orc.
Okay.
The
Orc.
things.
Yeah.
But others, and there's argument about who gets to make the role-playing game words.
Yeah.
I think it's basically going to be people are going to suggest things, and the popular ones will race to the top.
Yeah. And I can definitely see orc because it's either tusk or
Pig nose.
Pig nose. Yeah. And I feel like there needs to be more representation of the porcine orcs.
I kind of like them. I use their old artworks or old miniatures sometimes. The ape ones, some people are offended by.
Not only that, but for me, this is when I was just getting to D&D. I considered all orcs to just be goblinoids because I didn't see a difference between goblins, hobgoblins. Well, I could see like goblins are small, hobgoblins are kind of tall and a bit leaner. But if you put a bugbear and an orc next to each other, I couldn't tell the difference.
Well, the bugbear is supposed to be more furry.
Mm-hmm.
The orc is in Tolkien's world.
Yeah.
The difference between an orc and a goblin is size.
Yeah. So I used to just consider orcs
They're
a
not
type of
separate races.
Yeah.
They're just different size categories, like saying little person and person.
Okay, so it wasn't uneducated for me to consider some orcs to just be a type of goblinoid.
Right.
Okay.
And I gotta stop because I'm about to go on a tangent about goblins criterias. Let's.
Yeah.
My wife suggested I write a book on the scientific classifications of monsters. And the different categories below them.
Mm-hmm.
Is the root of goblinoids the goblin, and everything branches off from there.
So you're talking about like a fantasy taxonomy.
Yes. But I'm trying to stop this conversation now before I spend another hour on it. So we talked about sign language.
Yes.
And
there is a we kind of went around it, but there is a faction of sign language users that are trying to define role-playing game words for sign language.
Actually, there are factions. Plural.
Yeah, multiple factions.
There are several organizations, community groups that focus on integrating American Sign Language or British Sign Language. So Hatchling Games, they're responsible for Inspire Isles and Over Isles. They use both ASL and BSL.
British Sign Language?
Yep.
Okay.
And players use sign language to shape elements, cast spells, and solve problems.
Mm-hmm.
It is considered a teaching game for people who don't speak sign language, but it obviously, if everybody speaks sign languages already, it'll just go smoother. There is ASL for RPG. This was a dedicated project aimed at providing resources for ASL in gaming. While the project was put on hold in 2020 due to resource limitations, it served as a hub for volunteers and developing sign language tools for RPG communities. And again, there are other people that work on different projects.
Yeah.
Suzinska, she is known as the blind. Oh, I can't even remember her nickname. But she wrote accessibility for RPGs using the Fate system. And she had her own list of sign languages for role-playing games.
Okay.
And this has been an argument among sides. Who gets to decide what becomes the official one?
Well, that's the nature of how languages adapt. It's never just, oh, we said so and it is this. It's something that society has to accept.
Right.
Or at least cultures have to accept.
Yeah, you can coin a phrase, but doesn't mean that phrase is going to stay in the lexicon.
Right. And it may never move past your small group.
Right. Quit trying to make fetch happen.
Look, I'm not the one who's trying to make fetch happen.
So then there is ASL Aspire. While it's STEM focused, it uses game-based learning delivered by deaf professionals in ASL to improve literacy and technical skills through interactive play. You can find more about them on YouTube.
Yeah.
So there are, of course, community groups and online spaces that work on these things. Deaf Tabletop Gaming Online, DTGO, originating from the Deaf Board Game Convention. This community operates primarily on Discord. It hosts year-round sessions for Dungeons and Dragons and other TRPGs. Yeah. We've won. Dungeons and Dragons has adapted it, so the rest of you get in line. Anyways,
someone's still a bit bitter about it.
Specifically for deaf players and fluent hearing signers. Deaf role-playing games, a Facebook group. Deaf Dungeons and Dragons, another Facebook group. And Golden Hands Tavern, a Discord community created to support all types of gaming enthusiasts within the ASL community, including tabletop and MMOs.
Right.
I don't know of an MMO that uses sign language.
No, I don't know either. No, I don't know of any.
In fact, the best game I've seen, video game for sign language, is Moss, and I think it's called Moss, or it might be called Mouse. But the main character is a mouse. You are not the main character. You're this floating ball that assists the main character. And Moss only communicates through sign language.
Okay. I have a thought. I do, when it comes to ASL, I feel just gonna put it out there. I do believe that, especially here in America, having a secondary language being taught at a very early age would drastically improve our society.
Yes, and I want to see sign language taught in schools, and preferably, to fifth graders and up. That, and then of course high school. But a continuous learning of sign language
and use of sign language,
will increase just in America. Now look at Native Americans; they have their own sign language, or what they call trade language. But anything that increases communication between people is a good thing. I took French, but I would have rather taken ASL because I deal with hard of hearing and deaf people far more than I deal with the French.
Yeah, and this is my argument. This is my pitch for the benefits of ASL for non-hard of hearing people. Sometimes, oftentimes, more times than I can think of, you're in a situation where, not because you're hard of hearing, but the situation mandates so that you can't hear properly.
At a concert or a loud club. And if we use sign language, we're not contributing to the noise. I can talk to you at a distance without any problems.
Well, you could even have, like, say, a kid is in their room and they've got their friend who's across the street, and they're not going to scream. They can just sign to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if I'm trying to be quiet.
Right.
Shh. Mom's coming.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many other uses for ASL if it was just a more accepted and part of our society.
The Army,
Mm-hmm.
and actually most military groups, including police, have a rudimentary form of sign language
Mm-hmm.
to give orders without making noise.
See,
Go that way.
Yeah, it's already kind of supported there.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Wizard of the Coast has a really good opportunity to pitch the idea of having more ASL. Have a movie centered around Dritz and Drow. And Drow have their sign language. Incorporate all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then comes the argument, what kind of sign language are you going to use? Are you going to make up one? Which is cool, but a shame.
I would use ASL. I would use ASL.
I was just thinking, closed captioning for ASL?
Yes!
Because, I only speak BSL.
Yeah. I feel this is the Jamaican in me, and by Jamaican I mean I'm gonna thumb my nose at the British here. Is British sign language just ASL with the
with the pinky
with the
pinky? Yeah, sign language good. I had a problem with trying to incorporate sign language because, well, let's talk about academics first.
Yeah.
Academic and research involvement. The Gallaudet University, as a premier institute for the deaf, has a history of student-led gaming programs where games like Advanced Dungeons & Dragons have been played entirely in ASL.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Maybe that's somebody we need to get on.
Yeah.
Somebody from there.
That would be amazing.
I would love to work with them. You know what the other group on here is?
Who?
RPG Research. Previously hosted Power Up Gamers, calls for participants interested in broadcast ASL gaming sessions, promote accessibility in the hobby. So what I tried to do once, we were doing Gen Con, the premier role-playing game convention.
Yes.
And Wizards of the Coast is going back, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get a volunteer to run games in ASL.
Yeah.
And I had one or two complaints where people says, you can't do that. You have to hire interpreters and things like that. And I obviously came back with this. I'm not asking for an interpreter. I want a sign language GM playing with sign language gamers. This is no different than asking a Spanish person to run games in Spanish for Spanish-speaking people.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, I guess that is different.
Yeah.
They were talking about, you have to pay these people to volunteer. And it's like,
that's not a volunteer. That's an employee.
Right. Well,
yeah.
ASL interpreters are expensive.
Yeah.
One, you have to hire 2 people, minimum, 3 preferred, because, well, not every panel can get one.
Right.
And 2, they got to take breaks.
Yeah.
And the other consideration, though, when I was working for Spokane, before Spokane went away, the cost of 2 interpreters, I think actually the cost of 1 interpreter was more than what it cost the entire budget for the convention.
Yeah.
And I had people argue, well, if you can't afford interpreters, maybe you shouldn't be running games. And I said, oh, so you want only for-profit conventions left?
Yeah, it creates this donut effect where we're a nonprofit. We don't make that much money.
We don't make any money.
Yeah, we don't make any money. We are trying to do good in the world, but some things are just outside of our economic reach.
Yeah.
So do we not do anything and say, well, pack it up? We won't be able to make a dent unless we're making a certain amount of money, and that seems unfair.
Right. The places that can afford to hire is places like Gen Con.
Yeah.
Big for-profit conventions. But if you have a small town convention, like Spokane is considered a small town compared to the other cities that run games and stuff, it is beyond their capability.
Yeah.
And to say that their priority needs to be ASL translators, then we don't have the convention. I just have ASL translators standing around with nobody to talk to.
It's a matter of accepting that there are limitations on what we can do.
Right.
In a perfect world, we'd be able to accommodate everyone, but sometimes, as with these audience considerations, sometimes you can't. You have to do what you can do with what you have.
One of the things, and this is a philosophy thing, that you bring your own accommodations.
Yeah.
Now, that is fine for some things. Like, we're not going to provide you a wheelchair. You bring your own wheelchair.
Yeah.
But if we have more of a budget and we do have wheelchairs, we can either rent them out or loan them out. Because you know how hard it is to get a wheelchair onto a plane?
Yeah.
Your standard wheelchair is too wide. And we can talk all about wheelchair considerations. We've studied this quite a bit.
I mean, it depends on the scenario that you're in. When it comes to planes, yes, absolutely. But for a convention, unless you're dealing with where they're dealing with a specific restriction on spacing, I think it's easier to just be more considerate of the space that a wheelchair would need, as opposed to providing custom wheelchairs.
Well, when you provide the places that provide wheelchairs, the vast majority of them are for special guests.
Yeah.
They're one of the reasons people are coming to the convention. And the person couldn't bring in their wheelchair. They couldn't get it on the plane for whatever reason. And they fly in and you provide a wheelchair for them.
Yeah.
The other considerations for wheelchairs, and yes, we're off topic, but the other consideration for wheelchairs is teaching the public etiquette.
Yeah.
A wheelchair needs a little bit more room. I need a little bit more room, and all I got is a cane.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bit more room. When I ride in a cart or a wheelchair, usually a cart, then people, some reason, become blind to the cart.
Yeah.
It could be because I'm shorter than them. I'm already shorter than them. So things like putting a flag up over there and having a horn.
Actually, that's one of the reasons why I've seen some wheelchairs have flags, so that they have better visibility.
So you'll notice them. And people need to remember that there should be I got a booth here and a booth here. The people are here, and right down here should be clear.
Yeah.
Or at least ready to get clear.
Yeah. So to bring this back to audio considerations, what are some things that the general populace can do to be more accommodating to the auditory impaired?
Okay. So that actually brings us to the etiquette and other considerations. For example, round tables.
Yeah.
Good light. No crosstalk. Signaling when you're going to talk so the deaf person can look at you.
Another one that I've come across is not just like speaking up, but speaking slowly.
And enunciating.
Yes.
It's so much easier to read somebody's lips if they're not mumbling.
Yeah.
It's also easier. I try to keep my upper lip clear because it's hard to read when you can only see half the lips.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, they don't have a mouth at all as far as I visually can see.
It is also a lot easier to animate when I don't have to draw the upper lip.
So is that why all your characters, including the women, have mustaches?
Look, I'm trying to be inclusive here.
So these kind of considerations, the making sure everybody is aware of who's doing the talking.
Yeah.
So that everybody can direct their attention at that person. Like I mentioned before, exaggeration. I have seen some wonderful ASL translators that are so expressive that people who have no idea even how to spell an ASL can get the idea or the feeling that person's trying to portray.
Yeah. There's a couple that I've seen where the interpreters, especially for musical guests, where they're interpreting and dancing. And for me, a common one that I've seen is there's a someone will be acting. I don't know if they're doing actual ASL here, but they'll be portraying the ASL person for Eminem. And Eminem has a fast rap style, and then there's one song where he goes in and he shifts gear and then goes even faster. And you see it back and forth of the interpreter and the person listening, and the person who's listening, watching the ASL is like, yeah, this is good, and then the shift gear, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm into this now.
I'm not sure how people do it, but to be able to sign at the speed of an auctioneer is like, wow.
Yeah.
That's talent.
Yeah, that's is
beyond.
That is a skill.
Yeah, I can talk fast, but I cannot sign fast. And I need to get better at it. I think everybody at RPG Research needs to get better at it.
I need to get started on it.
Yeah, but I also want to get volunteers who are good at it. Whether or not they're a translator, I have one person that I know that's fairly good with ASL, but she's not a certified trainer, so she refuses to run games in ASL. Or certified translator.
Okay.
Which again, I'm trying to have you have a conversation with other ASL people, not to be a translator.
Yeah.
Yes, a person who is a translator can do that job. If you have a deaf dungeon master and everybody else can hear, you might need a translator.
Yeah.
But there are other ways to communicate.
Okay, so coming up to next, we said we were going to do a shift. We used to do, Traps and Riddles, which is getting phased out.
Yeah.
But we're extending the time on our unboxings.
Right.
And instead of doing Daniel is unboxing it and getting a first impression of it, we're going to lean more into reviewing what we're unboxing.
Right. The only things that's going to be the exception will be the loot boxes.
Yeah, I like those.
Because the surprise is half of the evaluation.
Yeah.
But then we can talk about how useful the item is in the context of our research or in games.
Yeah.
And how fun it is. Or what are the
potentially fun.
Yeah. Because it's one thing. Oh, great! I just opened this game. How do you play it? I have no idea.
No idea. There's been a few where, I haven't played it. This looks like it's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, starter sets. We may open those blindly because we want to see. Well, what we do is we have one person who's opening it blindly and tries to run it, while a second person already understands the rules.
Yeah.
So that when you have to admit that I can't run this game with a 15-minute lead in,
Yeah.
then the other person comes in.
And mind you, it failing the 15-minute leading isn't bad. It is the standard that we've seen. There's been only a handful of games that pass that 15-minute lead-in.
When we get back, we'll talk more about that.
Yes. So, after these messages, we'll be right back.